and Krishna. Krishna sees that. Krishna sees our effort. We are waking up early, doing Mangalarti, chanting, increasing more rounds, chanting more rounds. We are maybe chanting now 16, but we should increase 32, possible 64 every day. If we do that, Krishna will see our efforts, how hard we are trying. Bhakti is not easy. It looks easy, very simple, but we have to do it with sincerity, purity. We should have a simple heart. We should not expect anything from Krishna. It has to be unannoyed. It has to be Urjita Bhakti. Anya Vilasita Sunya. Anya Vilasita Sunya. Jnana Karma Anavritam. Anukulyena Krishnana Anushilana. Our Bhakti should be Anukulena Shilana. It has to be Anya Vilasita Sunya. Sunya means devoid. Anya means other. Anya Abhilas. Abhilas means absorption. Now we are absorbed in so many things. We are absorbed in our families, we are absorbed in our friends, we are absorbed in our jobs. But it has to be Anya Abhilas. Means we should not have any desires, any material desires, other than to please Krishna. This should be only our desire, to please Krishna. Like when Mother Yashoda, when she was breastfeeding baby Krishna, this milk was boiling on the stove. She put Krishna down, baby Krishna down. Baby Krishna was so upset, so angry. He was screaming, yelling. He was wanting the breast milk of Mother Yashoda. But Mother Yashoda went to say to that milk, is this Bhakti? Krishna is angry. Krishna is upset. He's not pleased. Is this Bhakti?
Yes.
Why?
Because he's going to get the milk and she's going to make the sweets to feed to him later.
It's for Krishna's benefit. She will do some sweet rice for Krishna's benefit from that milk. It's for Krishna's benefit. So our bhakti should be like that. But we do bhakti for our pleasure. We still want something from Krishna. But it has to be devoid of any material desire. Only for Krishna's benefit. In the arena of Kamsa, Charun and Mushtik are wrestling with Krishna and Balaram. At that time, the chest of Charun and Mushtik are touching the chest of Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna is taking so much pleasure from that. Is this bhakti? Why?
They want to kill him.
They want to kill them. They are practical. They want to kill Krishna. They are not anupam. Our bhakti should be anupam. It's for Krishna's benefit.
She's telling the truth.
It has to be for Krishna's pleasure, to give him benefit for his benefit. But Charun and Mishti, they wanted to kill Krishna. Even though Krishna was taking pleasure from this wrestling, it was practical for Krishna. So our bhakti should be anya abhilas, no material desires. We don't want anything of this world, nothing. We don't want the heavenly planets. We don't want the riches of this world. We don't want name, fame, followers. We don't want opulence of this world. Because we know one day all these will finish. Nothing will take with us. Nobody will go with us at the time of the death. This is the truth of this material world. We are chewing what is already chewed. Our grandparents, they were not able to take anything with them, no family members, nothing. And by accumulating these things, they were not happy. But they told us, oh, you should also get a house. You should also get married. You should also have children. Oh, you will be happy. Look, we are so happy. But none of them were happy. If we see a gum which is chewed, we see that on the street. And if we take this gum, which is already chewed, and we continue chew this gum, it's already chewed. We already saw our grandparents. We also see people around us. Isn't it Govinda Priya in Delray Beach? So fancy houses, so nice beaches, everything so beautiful. All the beauty, all the riches, like heavenly planet. But people still, they are going to the rehabilitation to get rid of this alcohol, these habits, these addictions. Why? Because still they have material desires in their hearts. It's in dormant stage. They still have lust. They still have envy. They still have hate. They have still anarthas in the heart. And they cannot take it out through any other means of attunement. By following religion, they cannot take it out. By following tapasya, austerity, being truthful, being honest, opening big hospitals, opening schools. They cannot take out those anarthas, desires from their hearts. They cannot. It's like bathing of an elephant. Again, they go and put dust. Again, they do habits. Again, they think next drink, when I will drink my alcohol. Because of the material desires. But Ajamil, when he was a great Brahmana, very pious, he got attached to a prostitute. And he brought this prostitute in his house, Ajamil. And because he wanted to keep this prostitute in the house, he spent all of his parents' inheritance. And when the money finished, he went outside doing unlawful things. He will arrest people. He will take this money. He will gamble and try to get money to keep this prostitute in the house. And he got 10 sons, even though he was 88 years old. He got his 10th son, and he gave him the name of Narayan. And Narayan was a little baby, a little boy. That time, Ajamil was keep calling his son, "Oh Narayan, come! It's time to drink your milk. Oh my son Narayan, come! It's time to eat your meal." And this way he was keep chanting the name of Narayana. And because Ajamil got old, it was the time for him to give up his body. That time, 3 precious beings, the messengers of Yamaraj, Yamadutas, came there with ropes and hooks in their hands. They came to take the soul of Ajamil. But that time, when Ajamil saw these precious 3 Yamadutas, their faces were twisted, their hairs were standing in an end. They had this copper-colored hairs and beards. They were so precious. He got so scared, and he saw his little son, Narayan, playing nearby. And he started calling his son, "Oh, my son, Narayan! Oh, my beautiful son, Narayan! Narayan! Please come and help me." He was crying. He was helpless. And he was calling his son. But at that time, even though he was calling his son, Narayan, he remembered Lord Narayan, to whom that he used to worship when he was a child. And he remembered, because he remembered Lord Narayan, immediately 4 Vishnu Dutas, they came here. They were so beautiful, so effulgent. And they stopped 3 Yamadutas to take Ajamil's soul to Yamaraj for punishment. Because Yamadutas, they said, this Ajamil, he is very simple. He gave up his chaste wife. He didn't look after his old mother and father. He neglected them. And he brought a prostitute in his house. And he gave up his children. So he's extremely simple. So now he needs to attune his sins we will take him to our Lord Yamaraj. But Vishnudutas said, no, you cannot take it. They cut the ropes of Yamadutas. They said, this Ajamil, he attuned all of his sins, because at the time of the death, he chanted the holy name of Lord Narayan. By chanting the holy name of Lord Narayan, he completely cleared all of his sins that he did in his present life. Not only that, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, he also got rid of all the sins that he did in his millions of past lives. He also cleared all those sins. And he also cleared those sins that is in the seed form, they will come out in the future. Like if we see the spring season coming and all the flowers are blossoming on the trees, we know that in the past there was spring like that. And we know that in the future there will be spring like that. So Yamaraj, in his abode, he is watching our actions. By watching his actions, he knows our past, he knows our present, and he knows our future. By just seeing our actions, what actions we are doing now, he knows what action we will do in the future. He knows, he watches them. So this way, Yamaduta said this Ajamil is sinful, but Vishnuduta said no, he cleared his sins. Even a person chants the holy name of the Lord, jokingly. Sometimes they say, oh, Hare Krishnas, they joke with us, Hare Krishnas, they came. Or neglectfully, if somebody chants the holy name of the Lord. Or indirectly, indicating something else, they will be cleared, they will be attuned, all the sins that they can accumulate millions of lifetimes. So this Ajamil, he cleared all of his sins, so you cannot take him to Yamaraj. So this way, Yamadutas, they got very upset and they left to that place, and that they went to the Loka, or to abode of their Lord Yamaraj, to figure out what was going on, who were these personalities who stopped them taking the soul of Ajamil to their Lord Yamaraj. And that time, this conversation between the Yamadutas and Vishnudutas, Ajamil heard this conversation. So he had sadhu sangha at the time of the death. By hearing this conversation between the Yamadutas and Vishnudutas, he realized his mistake. Oh, what I have done, I gave up my chaste wife, I neglected my mother, father, I get rid of my children, I got attached to a prostitute, and he regretted his sins, and he decided to go to Haridwar, and he went to Haridwar, and now consciously he start chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna, and this way again these Vishnudutas came with an airplane, and he got into this airplane and he went to Vaikuntha, Ajamil. And that time Yamadutas, they went to the Loka of Yamaraj, and they inquired, or we contacted our master. We thought that there was only one judge, but we saw that there is another one, and we are completely confused. Please tell us, who were these personalities? Were they demigods? Were they semigods? Were they humans? Who were they? Why did they stop us taking Ajamil's soul